Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Right Hive 2021's panel on social media management. Um, this is an interesting topic. I'm actually very passionate about it. I'm happy to bring this to you. Since I don't have any co-hosts, I decided to make a PowerPoint presentation. So I'm sorry, but I promise to make this not boring. So we'll see what happens. So uh, the question is, who am I and what makes me qualified to give this presentation? My name is Skeptic Arthfrrind, and I am a freelance content strategist. I've been in marketing for over 15 years. I have spent 8 of those running a crisis PR boutique firm. I've been a communication director for an unpopular politician. Not that one, not the other one, not that person either. I'm on the up and up. Don't hate me. I left them for a reason. I advise celebrity influencers, usually the B and C tier, though I did um, coach one person's social media team, and I kind of regret not being permanent to that. That was a nice recurring gig. Most importantly, I've seen the dark side of marketing. I know the pitfalls. I want to help you, and I'll get to why I want to help you very quickly. So, we have some rules on this panel. The first is I'm going to leave some stuff out. Um, Heath Ledger one time said, if you're good at something, never do it for free. So I want you to know that for as much stuff that is here, there is so much more that is not here. And that's partially because I don't need to be training who knows how many social media marketers. Um, and suddenly I can't pay my bills. Um, the second rule is that I don't know where everyone is on the skill tree of social media. So if you've been around the bend a few times and I'm saying stuff that you've heard before, I apologize. The slide says 5 minutes. I'm giving everyone who attends the Q&A 10 minutes of one-on-one coaching. And if you're advanced and you think you've heard it all, I'm going to give you some stuff that you probably haven't. That is my promise to you. And if not, you can drag me on social media and I'll deserve it. Three, I've peppered some jokes in here, and I want you to know that jokes aside, I respect you. I hope you respect the other people who are on this journey together. Social media is not the most fun thing to handle. Like, we're already writing and we're dealing with grammar and we're dealing with editing and querying and selling ourselves, and we have so much to individually conquer. I'm saying let's cut ourselves some slack. We are all human beings, and until we're published, this is all pretty low stakes anyhow. Fourth is I need you to get comfortable with the fact that you may have to step out of your comfort zone. Social media means getting into a headspace you're not accustomed to. So we're going to be exposing our demons. We're going to be acting in a way that some of us may not be accustomed to. And as on the old maps would say, here be monsters. So what is social media marketing? It's the process of analyzing social media audiences and developing a strategy that's tailored to them. That's creating and distributing content for social media profiles. At its full extent, it's live analysis and monitoring of social media conversations, collaborating with influencers, providing community service, and finally, it's monitoring, measuring, and reporting on social media performance and ROI. That's a lot of talk for saying we're going to throw some stuff online. We're going to see if it works. We're going to see if it gets traction. If it does, fantastic. If it's not, buy a whiteboard, buy some pens, get a cloth, and we're going to be going back to that whiteboard a lot until we understand what it is we're doing. So the next thing I want to mention is that marketing and authors do not get along. Um, First is because social media is largely inauthentic. Each platform has different rules and attracts different audiences. And for some people, that means that there is a game to play. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take this guy. I've blurred out his name because, well, I'm going to drag him out. Um, Decent looking chap, Seems to have like a same facial expression thing going on. That's all right. I've been accused of having a permanent look. Um, Looks like a world traveler. Been to Tel Aviv, been to Minsk. You know what also seems to have in common besides the same face in every photo? That fence is in every photo. I didn't know that the Jews and the Belarusi like making the exact same style of fencing. Maybe with the about $700 he made between these two posts, he can actually fly somewhere and find a new post, new fence. Um, it may seem like that's an unfair comparison. That happens a lot, and if you look up uh, fake Instagram, fake social media, you're going to get inundated with blog posts and about how you'll have this person who looks fantastic and it's this great pose and has tons of looks. It's their backyard. Um, Very often, people who are social media influencers, the lower tier group, they're just folks trying to make it just like us, but maybe not just like us, but those are, in my opinion, some really craven strategies to try and get ahead. So moving on, another reason marketing and authors don't get along is fiction authors. And if you're in the nonfiction market, if you're doing memoirs, DIY, um, the stats are a little different. But for my fiction writers out there, treasurers.org says that about 1 out of every 3 people are introverts. And treasurers.org also says that most fiction writers are introverts. So not to say that you can't have success on social media. Introverts and extroverts bring different things to the table. Introverts bring more deliberate content. They deliver more thoughtful content. They are more likely to have a detailed conversation. Extroverts, by and large, have more followers. They have more community engagement. They have more people who interact with their posts. When I say this, I'm not saying, "Oh, look what you have. Look at what you're up against." I'm saying this is the field you're in. Um, so just get ready. A little mental preparedness never hurt anyone. Finally, social media is time consuming. The rules for Twitter, the rules for Instagram, the rules for YouTube are not the same rules for Facebook, for Foursquare. Is that still around? Um, is not the same for WhatsApp. Um, and there is some cross posting you can do from Twitter to Facebook and vice versa. I think vice versa. Um, I've not seen people share a whole lot of Facebook on Twitter, but I do know that you can cross post a tweet as a Facebook post. Um, but when you're spending so much, you can spend so much time learning how to make each social media platform work. You can lose time editing and writing, which is time better spent on writing and querying and doing all the things to market your book. I want to say this now for the people who may have never heard this. If you're trying to get a book published, you are in business. You are not only in art, you are in business. In art, you are saying, "I have produced fiction, I have produced literature," and uh, you are asking the world to turn back to you and go, "Yes, you have produced literature. Here's $24.95." Um, but you are also a business because you are trying to sell something. You are trying to find another revenue source. So I want people to remember when you're on Twitter, when you're on a social media platform and you're talking about your book or you're trying to do this, this is your business. And I want you to start treating it like a business. This is your time. This could eventually be your money. So the platforms we're covering today, um, you're going to see that I don't have Facebook here, and there's a reason for that. Facebook's internal algorithms change on the regular. On Thursday, I had about 6 slides on working with Facebook, which were obsolete Friday morning when Zuckerberg rolled out new code. A lot of things are similar, but I've decided I'm going to wait for Facebook's internal operating system to launch in May before I seriously start diving back into coaching people on Facebook. Um, Funny enough, Facebook has an ad system, and they've had it for about it's 2021, so they've had it for about 13 years now, where you can micro target specific audiences, even like if you want to target 18-year-olds in Knox County, Tennessee, you will target like 16 to 18-year-olds in Knox County, Tennessee, and you can spend about $7 or $8 and get 1,000 people to look at that. That in advertising, that is an unfathomable unfathomably good um, return on investment. Just paying $7 to get 1,000 people to look to like just get their eyeballs on your content, whether they say or go, is fantastic. Um, Marketing, because of social media, has effectively been democratized. Um, you're going to hear if you try and like outsource social media to a bunch of firms, they're going to give you like the pain copy about how hard it is and how much you could lose or stand to lose by doing it yourself versus hiring people. And it's because social media has leveled the playing field for mom and pop small businesses like ours, like a bunch of other places. And it allows us to talk directly to consumers, and we don't need them because I know this girl. Her name is Samantha. She she is a fashion designer. She has an iPhone 5. Like that is ancient technology these days. It is still functional. It still works great. And with her iPhone 5, she no does not have a laptop. She does not have a desktop. She has no computers. She just has an iPhone 5. She sells, makes, and clothes. And as she'll say, she sits pretty comfortably. She is a comfortable person. I think she made like $750,000 last year just on her phone. It just boggles my mind. Um, she doesn't need marketing. She's never hired a marketer, as far as Sam's told me. Anyway, we're going to be covering some Instagram, some Twitter, some TikTok, and some YouTube. Not in that order. So here's some general stuff about all social media platforms. And the first is that social media is here to stay. Some of the platforms will change. Um, like Facebook was really the first and is currently the biggest. Um, but there have been all sorts of social media platforms. There was Foursquare, where you became a mayor of a place by going there a lot and checking in. Um, you still see Foursquare in Facebook because Facebook bought out Foursquare. I know you heard me earlier ask if that's still around. That was more a joke. Um, Haha. But with your ability to say where you are when you post was something Facebook didn't have before they bought out Foursquare. As you see from this slide, the number of total social media users is 4.2 billion people. That is an incredible number. That's well over half the population of the world at this point. And my favorite statistic is that 98.8% of all people who use social media use it with a mobile device. Welcome to full democratization. Uh, you don't the era where you need a computer to do anything online is over. For $500 to $1,000, you can have this little device fits in the palm of your hand, and you can send rockets to the moon. We were able to send rockets to the moon in the palm of our hands back in 2010. And in 2010, we were using it to launch green little birds into green little pigs. Um, you know, life's funny that way. Um, Now we can use it to launch businesses that exist virtually that have almost no physical presence except for like a mailbox because that's still a legal requirement. But largely speaking, the business can exist on your phone. Um, the most used social platforms. I want to point out there's some stuff you haven't heard for. Kuaishou is Chinese YouTube. It's not exactly YouTube, but it's a video platform and it does almost all the exact same things YouTube does. Um, Douyin. Douyin is the company that owns TikTok. I legally have to say that Douyin and TikTok are legally not the same thing. However, if you pair Douyin and TikTok side by side, you'd see a lot of similarities. You can't see me, but know that I'm winking at you. Um, Instagram, TikTok has 689 million users. That number is slated to go up. I'll go more on that in a second. Instagram has nearly double that user base at 1,221. YouTube, 2,200, nearly 2,300. I'm sorry, that's 2,200 million users, 2.2 billion users. And Facebook has double the user base of Instagram at 2,740. You're going to hear a lot of people talk about how people want to migrate away from Facebook. The numbers just don't prove that. Facebook is still growing, even though it's not the platform it used to be. And oh boy, it can be a quagmire. But the thing is, this doesn't need to be some field of dreams where if you build it, they will come. It's been built. They are there. We know they're there. We're going to get a piece of that. So, some basic social media management rules. This applies to all platforms. Do not do politics on your business platform. I was a few years ago. I was hiring an editor, and I got I sent a request for an RFP, and I got this quote back from this woman named Pat Barnhart out of Alabama, and she ran a business called Writing Down Pat. I love the name. Um, I tell the story to anybody who'll listen because it's so prescient. But here's the crux. We get along great, and she communicated to me in a style I understood what she was saying, and I felt I felt okay, like with her breaking out the red pens and just making my manuscript bleed. But she posted her Twitter account at Writing Down Pat. So I went there, and there was nothing but incendiary, poorly researched political memes. I scrolled for about 15 minutes straight looking for any post that had to do with editing, with writing, with language, nothing. Just memes that was on a specific side of the political spectrum. Whether I agree with it or not wasn't the point. Uh, the point is, and I told her as much, is I could hire her. And I undoubtedly knew we were going to have a successful encounter. And after which I would have to promote her because I had a successful interaction with this other business. Because that's what you do. Um, when you hire somebody, part of the expected compensation, there's the financial reward, but there's also the, hey, I've been working with this person and it went fantastic. When people, if people saw me retweet Pat's Twitter account, it could very easily be expected that I am endorsing her politics. Even if I say I don't, there is so much politics on her page. I couldn't get around that. Since then, her account's been banned because she stepped over the line. I think she relaunched her business, and I think she has a different Twitter handle. I haven't investigated in over a year, so I don't know. Oops, here we go. Branding, 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 branding. So, with an exception, again, I'll go into that in a minute or two. Across all platforms, you want to be using like the same logo, Banners if the platform allows you to have banners. Branding is really important because branding is what has people remember who you are. Um, the next rule is regular content. Uh, I'm sure some of us have heard the adage that content is king, but making sure that content goes out at the right time, that the message of striking while the iron is hot is essential. Each platform has different rules as to when is the best time to post. That's more I can talk to you about on one-on-ones than I can here. Targeted content. So this is actually fascinating because um, my young adult and middle grade authors, people who are aiming for teens, may not want to be posting to Facebook or Twitter. They want to be using Snapchat and TikTok. And I'll be going, and actually a couple slides over, I'll be going into some specifics on how to use TikTok for your platform. But you don't talk to, um, I wouldn't go to TikTok to advertise my 47-part romance series on sparkly pirates who swashbuckle their way into your heart. Yes, that's a real book series. I've read 2 of them. They're not good. They're not good. But I wouldn't sell that on TikTok. I'd sell that on Twitter. And that person did sell it on Twitter and they did okay. So um, all social media platforms these days are allowing for short version videos. They call it different things. Facebook calls it short video. Instagram calls it reels. Twitter did this for reasons I don't understand, but they call it fleets. Why though? Um, and YouTube has done short. I want to talk about Twitter real quick because when Twitter rolled out tweets, everyone looked at that and said, "Why though? Why did you do this? No one wanted this on Twitter." And Twitter saying, "Oh, it's content that'll very quickly be deleted." And like this is Twitter. Like we shout into the void, and our content is already almost immediately drowned out by other content. Why do we need more destructible, more easily drownable content? Um, Everyone I know who posts fleets on Twitter gets a raft of crud from their followers. I don't recommend it. Please don't use it. Um, so Facebook specifically recommends that their users don't use sound, even though sound is enabled. I don't understand. I don't even think people follow that advice. Um, and I have some things to say about YouTube Shorts in a minute that could really benefit you and benefit your platform or your business. So TikTok, finally, I'm getting to the platforms. I know I spent all this time talking about basic stuff that now I'm getting into the meat and potatoes. Believe me, if it's not for that basic stuff, the meat and potatoes wouldn't matter. So for TikTok, 689 million users, 69% of them are under 29 years old. You need to be 18 to I believe it's 16 or older to sign an account. We all know the 13-year-olds are there. They know the 13-year-olds are there. The content is mostly entertainment. But what I have found recently is that, and I believe this was in Market Watch 2 weeks ago, was that there were some women who are launching personal finance TikTok channels marketed to young women. I mean, young people in particular, in general, but generally they were like these ladies believe that um, women aren't women aren't being targeted, and they're getting a lot of traction, and they're even making money on the side enough to enough to pay their bills, and then some. TikTok is a very fresh platform, and there is lots of room for growth. Um, TikTok made $6.5 billion, and that's just with their content creators. Douyin made about $24 billion from TikTok. in 2020. That boggles my mind. So when you're working TikTok, you need to know that videos are 15 seconds long, but you can make, if you film it natively in your app, you can make a 60-second video that's broken into quarters. And I'm told you can import videos that are even longer. Now, when I say this, know that I don't actively have a TikTok account because I have huge privacy concerns. Um, if I were to, if I bought it like a second phone and it's a like be this burner, um, it would just have a ton of additional content. Sorry, fake content, so to mess with the data collection. I mean, I know that there's data collection on all social media apps, but TikTok goes well above and beyond, and that's just why I don't personally use it. Um, but it's getting to the point where I may not be able to ignore that much longer. Um, know that the average person who uses TikTok stays there for nearly an hour a day. So you have eyeballs who's just zooming from content to content to content. Globally, Android controls 72.9% of the global mobile market, and 75% of all TikTok users are on Android. That what I mean by that is not, oh, if you have an iOS, you're out of luck. Actually, iOS users get exclusive access to Clubhouse, which means I am locked out of Clubhouse. Um, and Clubhouse, just like TikTok, is so young that you can make your own you can make your own thing, and you can dominate that platform for as long as the platform exists. TikTok has staying power. TikTok's probably going to be around for a while. Um, they've proven that they're not some flash in the pan. So there is plenty of room for you to get a foothold on TikTok, talk to the kids, and you can create a pretty commanding presence on your own. And as this platform grows, so can you. So YouTube. There have been other video platforms. YouTube is the best, or at least the biggest, big enough that there's not worth competing anymore. So YouTube supports 2 billion monthly users, which is only second to Facebook. The average user spends about 42 minutes on YouTube every single day. Despite the number of users and the sheer oceans of content in YouTube, there's still room to create something brand new. In 2011, cooking YouTube was chock full of content, and like one cooking channel was synonymous with another, and everyone's saying there's not really room for another cooking channel. And then Binging with Babish came along, and Binging with Babish has, I think it's the #1 cooking YouTube channel. Um, I know if he's not #1, he's top 5. Everyone says like there's no room for anyone on YouTube anymore. I flat out disagree. Um, you can come from any background, and with the right blend of content and charisma and spectacle, you can make a strong YouTube channel. Um, I want people to know that channels with videos with variations of the word beginner um, increased more than 50% between March and July, and that's because of COVID lockdown. Um, but 50.9% of business to business decision makers use YouTube for research. So there is plenty of room for you to come in. And even if you're not going to do like a writing thing, if you've got some idea you've wanted to share with the world, there's probability that you could make a serious difference. I got into mechanical keyboards in the last 2 months because of YouTube. And easy engagement. I'd say that between Facebook or all the other social media platforms, I'd say that YouTube is the easiest one to engage with. There's a like, there's a subscribe, there's a comment. If your channel grows to about 10,000, you get a community tab and you can start releasing polls. Polls are broken. I mean it. You can put it on a poll, and the YouTube algorithm started pumping the poll out to people who weren't even interested in the content you made. Now YouTube has nerfed this a little bit, but it's still a pretty potent thing. There's also, and I can talk about this privately, there is a way to have thousands of likes on a video before anyone's ever watched your video. Um, like just want to say, YouTube is perfectly balanced in every way. YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts are 60-second little jaunts. Try to keep it to 59 seconds though, because there's something about the YouTube algorithm where if you hit the full 60 seconds, your video won't get as far, but 59 seconds, you do great. There's this channel that's only done shorts. It's not a very old channel. It's called Block Facts. You see it here on the slide. It is cram-packed with Minecraft facts. There's a new video every day, and they are always 27 seconds. This is some high impact stuff. I only watched one video because I can't take it, but it's worked like gangbusters for this guy. BlockFacts only has YouTube Shorts. If your channel has Legal Eagle has been doing more YouTube Shorts and only does it with his phone. And I dare say he's been doing a bang up job of it. But if your channel, it is my understanding that a channel's analytics do better when you're only doing shorts versus a mix of long form videos and shorts. Just the algorithm treats you differently, but you get better prioritization if you just have a channel for shorts. Mr. Beast, who is big in the gaming community and just does a ton of like random insane giveaways, launched his own short channel just for his own shorts. Because he even recognizes the algorithm is going to actually treat his channel with less priority if he mixes the two. So going to Instagram. Names are absolutely important. You don't want to just put your name. You want to put like part of your profession, because people are going to go into that search bar and they're going to search for something. You could be John Connor and you could be the guy who ends all Terminators, but it would be better if you said something like John Connor and you put that line in there under the name and go Terminator Killer. For whatever reason, that drives more eyeballs to your account than not doing it. Captions are the biggest thing on Instagram. You can basically write out the content of the Communist Manifesto and still have room to spare. And for some content creators on Instagram, it may as well be the Communist Manifesto, because it just like the scroll can go on and on and on. That's good for you though, because now you're going to start filling out. You can have a post that it can be a short video, it can be just a graphic. Then you can go into long form specifics. I want to add that you want to add hashtags, and I mean not just like one or two, but like a few dozen. But every post, you don't want to go back and use the exact same set of hashtags, because it'll make the Instagram algorithm think you're spam. So what I advise my clients to do is have 3 rotating sets of hashtags and just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that really optimizes their return on investment. Finally, Instagram is probably one of the only platforms I've seen where you can interact with people, and that actually boosts your channel's visibility. So Instagram is really one of the places where it's to your benefit to start telling people, going to other people's accounts and saying, "Hi, I'm this person," and engaging with them, because more likely they're going to start seeing your channel. The people around them are going to start seeing your channel, and they'll interact with you. Twitter is the account is the platform that I got the most requests to cover, but oddly enough, has the smallest audience we're covering in this panel. Um, I firmly believe that Twitter is the worst return on investment. That's only in comparison to the others. Not bad though. Um, so this Twitter is the one platform where you don't want to have like a graphic, you want to have your face. And if your face isn't like your profile picture, then have pictures of your face in your content. Not every post, but more often than not. Burst posting is discouraged. This is a Korean paper from 2011. It's in English, if anyone's curious. Um, it's still relevant. But it found that about half of a person's unfollows happen from burst posting than for any other reason. Um, so on one hand, I do say that Twitter is a great platform because even though it's 280 characters, um, you can make threads. You can have Twitter Q and A's. If your audience is big enough. But there's a sweet spot, and it really depends on what your audience is. Twitter really is, in my opinion, the platform where you have the most experimentation because there is a lot of balls to juggle with that cord. Um, More often than not, if you post visual content with your tweet, you will get more traction and more visibility with that than just posting text. Videos are times more likely to be retweeted than text only. Um, and tweets with GIFs and video, GIFs are tweets with GIFs are more likely to get be seen than text posts, and videos are 6 times more likely to be retweeted than tweets with GIFs, which is just a fascinating statistic to me. That is all I want to say for this panel. I offer uh, social media management coaching to anybody who wants it. Again, in the Q&A, I'll be posting a sign up form for a free 10-minute one-on-one. When going into the question session, know that no question is stupid. It's social media is a frustrating arena to get some success in. And I want to stress that if you're thinking it, there's a good chance someone else is thinking it too. And I'm okay to handle pretty much any question. So thank you very much for your time. And with the recording over, we're going to go into the Discord for Q&A. Thank you very much.